So let's start definition of matrix. Matrix is a rectangular arrangement number, symbol, or expression that organized by into the column into the row and columns, like this explains. So matrix usually written inside a square bracket, like this square bracket. Now, in mathematics, matrix is useful because they help organize information in structured way. So, look at the example slide. It is matrix A. So contains four number like 2, 4, 3, and 1. There's number arranged two row and two columns, like a matrix with two row and two columns, like that. So because it's two row and two columns, we call a 2 by 2 matrix or 2 order 2 by 2 matrix. So understanding the basic structure of the matrix, so very important but before learning more advanced topic such matrix operation. So next slide. Okay. After understanding what this matrix is, let's move to row and column. Row matrix notation and order, which is a main part of matrix. So this slide, I will explain matrix and notation and order. Matrices are usually okay. Matrices are usually uh, represented by capital letter, like this, uh, A, B, C, or something. A matrix, is a rectangular arrangement or number organized into row and column. The size of matrix is called order or dimension. The order is written as a number of row multiplied by number of column. So row x columns, like that. For example, we have matrix A show there. Matrix A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This matrix counts two and three columns, so its order is 2 by 3 matrix. And number inside matrix is called element. The position on element is defined by a row number and row number and column number. The in notation is called element. A notation, the element collect in first row and second column is looking at matrix A, like A 1 2 is 2. So next slide. Okay, next slide is row and columns. Every matrix contains of 4 row and columns. The row is horizontal arrangement for a number, meaning the number placed from left to right. This explains row contains the number. First row is 1, 2, 3, and second row is 5, 4, 5, 6. And the other hand, column is vertical arrangement number, meaning the number are placed from top to bottom. And the first column is 1, 4, second column is 2, 5, and third column is 3, 6. We can conclude this matrix has 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows horizontal and 3 columns vertical. Knowing the row and column help determine the position of each element inside a matrix, so helpful identify the size of order the matrix. So usually often to ask a teacher like or something, which is a count first, row or column. So row is counted first. Uh, Next is following by columns. Okay. So next. Okay. Next slide is element of matrix. The number inside matrix is called element or entities. Each element has unique position based on this row and row number and column number. This in this explain, matrix A has 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the element is first row is 1, first row and first column is 1. Next is element the first row and second column is 2 like this. The element in the second row and first column is 3 like this. The element in the second row and second column is 4 like this. So in mathematics, mathematical notation, element is often written as aig, where is I to responded by row number and G is for column number. And for example, A12 meaning like the element row in row 1 and column 2, which is row 1 and the column 2. Row 1 is horizontal 1 and the column is vertical 1 like this. But so is uh, row 1 and column 2 is equal to. So another explain A21 is A meaning is element row 2 in the column 1 is 3 like this. So this notation is very useful because it help like collect element quickly. So when matrix become large and more complex like that. So next type of matrix. Uh,
Okay, next, now we will discuss the different types of matrices. In mathematics, matrices can be classified based on their number of row, column, and arrangement of their element. Each type has its own characteristics and application. Next. The first type is a row matrix. A row matrix contains only one row, but it can have several columns. In this example, the matrix has an order of 1 by 4, which means it consists of one row and 4 columns. Next. The next type is a column matrix. A column matrix contains only one column, but it can have several rows. In this example, uh, has an order of 4 by 1, meaning it consists of 4 rows on column. Next. Another important type is the square matrix. A square matrix has the same number of row and column. In this example, the matrix has 2 row and 2 column, so it is called a 2 by 2 square matrix. Next. Okay. Next, we have the rectangular matrix. Unlike a square matrix, a rectangular matrix has a different number of row and column. In this example, the matrix has 2 row and 3 column, making it a rectangular matrix. Next. The next type is the zero matrix, also known as the null matrix. In a zero matrix, every element is equal to 0. This type of matrix is often used in matrix operation and algebraic calculation. Next. Now let's look at the diagonal matrix. A diagonal matrix is a square matrix in which all elements outside the main diagonal are 0. Only the element on the main diagonal may have non-zero value. Next. The next type is the identity matrix. An identity matrix is a special diagonal matrix where all elements on the main diagonal are equal to 1. It acts like the number 1 in matrix multiplication because multiplying a matrix by an identity matrix does not change the original matrix. Next. Boleh the next. The opposite of an upper triangular matrix is a lower triangular matrix. In this matrix, all elements above the main diagonal are 0, while the diagonal and the elements below it may contain non-zero value. Next. Next is the symmetric matrix. A symmetric matrix is a square matrix that is equal to its transpose. This means the elements are mirrored across the main diagonal. Next. Now we will discuss matrix transposition. The transpose of a matrix is obtained by changing its row into column and its column into row. In other words, each element changes its position according to its row and column in this. Next. Two matrices are considered equal if they have the same order and all corresponding elements are equal. If either the order or any corresponding element is different, the matrices cannot be considered equal. Next. After learning about the different type of matrices, we will move on to the matrix operation. The basic of operation include addition, subtraction, scalar multiplication, and matrix multiplication. Next. The first operation is matrix addition. Matrix addition is performed by adding the corresponding element of two matrices. However, this operation can only be done when both matrices have the same order. Next. Next is matrix subtraction. similar to addition. Subtraction is performed by subtracting the corresponding element of two matrices with the same dimensions. Next. Another operation is scalar multiplication. A scalar is simply a number. To multiply a matrix by a scalar, we multiply every element in the matrix by that number. The size of the matrix remains unchanged. Next. Unlike the previous operation, matrix multiplication has a specific condition. Two matrices can only be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix is equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. For example, a matrix of order 2 by 3 can be multiplied by a matrix of 3 by 2, resulting in a matrix of 2 by or of order 2 by 2. Next. To multiply two matrices, we multiply each row of the first matrix by each column of the second matrix and then add the result together. This process is repeated for every position in the resulting matrix. Next. Okay. After discussing matrices, we will move on to the second topic, which is vector. Vector are important mathematical quantity used in many fields such as physics, engineering, and computer graphic. Next. Vector quantity has both magnitude and direction. Example vector include velocity, force, acceleration, and displacement. For instance, 10 meter is a vector because it has magnitude of 10 meter and a direction toward and the east. Next. Next lagi. Boleh di sini. Yang sebelumnya. Every vector has two main characteristics, magnitude and direction. Magnitude refer to the size or length of the vector, while direction indicates where the vector point. For example, a vector 5 meter has magnitude of 5 meter and a direction to the east. Next. Okay, that's all for me. I will now return the session to the moderator.
Okay, before continuing to the next step, Febrianti, could you to me, did you read or explain?
Jadi itu tolong jawab bahwa survei itu tidak pakai sastra ya.
What you did? You read
Jangan lupa
or you explain?
kepuasan layanan. Ya. Tujuan edom ya, bukan yang edom ya.
Gimana?
Kalau edom
bisa
ceritakan
dapat
bahwa
apa?
edom itu kamu ngisi tidak pakai semester. Yaitu kamu belum bisa lihat nilai kalau belum ngisi edom. Bahwa di jadwal akademik juga
Bisa
ada jadwal
mendengarkan suara
pengisian
saya?
edom.
Ibu maaf,
Kemudian kami juga ada
kurang
survei
terdengar.
layanan.
Oh,
Ya.
oke.
Yang juga
Ini
dilakukan
sudah
di tiap akhir
terdengar
semester.
belum?
Oke.
Masih belum?
Edom, edom. Kalau yang layanan, ya, betul. tiap semester. Jadi layanan kami terima tiap semester kami
Oke,
Di-
kalau seperti ini
kapan isinya?
jelas tidak?
Ya, sebelum kami ngisi KRS dan
Sedikit
minta
jelas Ibu,
isi
tapi
layanan
masih ada
semester.
suara di luarnya. Bu.
Walaupun di sini sekarang jalan.
Okay, yeah, because I have another agenda today. Okay, tapi sekarang please, can you hear my voice now?
Putus-putus, Mem.
Or
Putus-putus ya.
DPJM? DPJM sama DPJM? Hah? DPJM gimana? Survei yang assurance yang di poin
ada di website GPJ. Kita sebagai dosen, sebagai mahasiswa, ada ya, ada jawabannya itu ada di website GPJM.
Okay, I'm sorry because I have another agenda as well. So please, for the next presenter, please not to read but to explain. Okay, please note it. Okay, please continue it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So next is vector notation is explained by Reva.
Okay, thank you, Katarina, for the opportunity. Next, I will explain about, sebelumnya. Okay, I will explain about vector notation. A vector is usually written using an arrow above the letter, such as vector v or v. For the example, vector A has vector A equals 3 and 4 has two components. The x component is 3 and the y component is 4. These components describe the movement of the vector along the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, next slide. Okay, slide. Okay, next is magnitude of a vector. As explained by AB, magnitude is the size or length of the vector. For the example, vector A equals 3 and 4. To find the magnitude of the vector, we can use the formulas is square root of x to the power of 2 plus y to the power of 2. Therefore, the magnitude of equals the square root of 3 to the power of 2 plus 4 to the power of 2. 3 to the power of 2 is 9 and 4 to the power of 2 is 16. So we have the square root of 9 plus 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. So the square root of 25 equals 5. Therefore, the magnitude of the vector A is 5. Okay, next slide. Okay, I will explain about vector operation. Can go to the next, the first one is vector addition. Yes, next slide. Vector addition means combining two vectors to produce a new vector. When adding vectors, we add to the corresponding components separately. In other words, we add the x components together and the y components together. For the example, vector A equals 2 and 3, and vector B equals 4 and 1. The x component of vector A is 2 and the x component of vector B is 4. So we add them together. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Next, the y component of vector A is 3 and the y component of vector B is 1. So 3 plus 1 equals 4. So A plus B equals 2 plus 4, comma 3 plus 1 equals 6 and 4. Therefore, the resulting vector is 6 and 4. Okay, next. The second is vector subtraction. Vector subtraction is used to find the difference between two vectors. Similar to vector addition, we subtract the corresponding components. This means we subtract the x component and the y components separately. For the example, vector A equals 5 and 2, and vector B equals 3 and 1. The x component of vector A is 5, while the x component of vector B is 3. So we subtract them. 5 minus 3 equals 2. Next, the y component of vector A is 2, and the y component of vector B is 1. So we subtract them. 2 minus 1 equals 1. So vector A minus vector B equals 5 minus 3, comma 2 minus 1 is 2 and 1. Therefore, the resulting vector is 2, 1. Okay, next slide. Okay, next slide is scalar multiplication of vectors. Before we start, let's understand the meaning of a scalar. A scalar is simply a number that has magnitude but not direction, such as 2, 3, or 5. When a vector multiplied by a scalar, every component of the vector is multiplied by that scalar. This operation changes the magnitude or length of the vector. However, the direction remains the same if the scalar is positive. For the example, vector A equals 2 and 3, and the scalar equals 3. To calculate K times vector A, we can multiply its component of the vector by 3. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. So the result is 6 and 9. Therefore, K times vector A equals 6 and 9. Okay, next slide. Okay, we talk about vector multiplication with a vector. There are two types. The first one is dot product or scalar product. The dot product is a way of measuring how closely two vectors point in the same direction. Unlike the cross product, the result of a dot product is a scalar value, which means it is just a number and does not have a direction. There are two common formulas for the dot products. The first formula
is based on the magnitude of the factors and the angle between them. A dot B equals the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B multiplied cosine theta. And then we can use the second formula is A dot B equals x1 times x 2 plus y 1 times y 2 for 2. For the example, factor A equals 1, comma 2 and factor B equals 3, 4. To calculate the dot product, we multiplied the corresponding components. First, 1 times 3 plus 2 times 4 equals 1 times 3 is 3 and 2 times 4 is 8. So 3 plus 8 equals 11. So the dot product of factor A and B is 11. Okay, next slide. Okay, the second is the cross product or factor product. The cross product of these factors is determined by A cross B. Unlike the dot product, which produces a scalar value, the cross product produces a new factor. An important characteristic of the resulting factor is that direction perpendicular to both original factors. The magnitude of the cross product is given by the formula. The magnitude of A cross B equals the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B multiplied by sin theta. Here, theta represents the angle between the two factors. To determine this direction of the resulting factor, we use the right-hand rule. Another important property is that the cross product is not commutative. This means A cross B is not equal to B cross A. In fact, reversing the order changes the direction of the resulting factor. For the example, factor A equals 2, 3, and 4, comma factor B equals 5, 6, and 7. To calculate the cross product, we use a determinant containing the unit factors I, G, and K. The second row contains the components of factor A, and the third row contains the components of factor B. First, can calculate the I component. I component is 3 times 7 equals 21. 4 times 6 equals 24. 21 minus 24 equals negative 3. So the I component is negative 3. Next, calculate the G components. 2 times 7 difference 4 times 5. 2 times 7 equals 14. And 4 times 5 equals 20. So 14 minus 20 equals negative 6. And then calculate the K component. 2 times 6 difference 3 times 5. 2 times 6 equals 12. And 3 times 5 equals 15. And 12 minus 15 equals -3. Combining all these components, we obtain the resulting factor is -3, 6, and -3. From this example, we can see that the cross product produces a new factor with 3 components. The resulting factor is perpendicular to both factor A and factor B. This is one of the main differences between the cross product and the dot product. Okay, next slide. Okay, scalar projection. Scalar projection is used to measure how much of one factor lies in the direction of another factor. Unlike vector projection, scalar projection produces only a number or a scalar value. In other words, it tells us the length of the projection of vector A onto vector B. The formula is C equals A dot B divided by the magnitude of B. The result can be positive or negative if the angle between the vectors is acute, meaning less than 90 degrees, the result is positive. If the vectors point in opposite direction, the result becomes negative. For the example, vector A equals 3,4 and vector B equals 6,0. First, calculate the dot product. 3 times 6 equals 18, plus 4 times 0 equals 0. So 18 plus 0 is 18. Next, we calculate the magnitude of vector B. The magnitude of B equals the square root of 6 to the power of 2 plus 0 squared. 6 squared equals 36 and 0 squared equals 0. So the magnitude becomes the square root of 36. The square root of 36 is 6. And then we substitute the value into the scalar projection formula. The scalar projection equals 18 divided by 6. 18 divided by 6 equals 3. So the scalar projection of vectors A and vector B is 3. Next slide. Okay, next slide is vector projection. Unlike scalar projection, which gives only a number, vector projection gives a vector. In other words, vector projection provides both magnitude and direction. It represents the component of vector A that lies in the direction of vector B. The formula is the projection of vector A onto vector B equals A dot B divided by the magnitude of B squared multiplied by vector B. The resulting vector always point in the same direction as vector B. For the example, vector A equals 3,4 and vector B equals 4,0. First, calculate the dot product of vectors A and B. 3 times 4 plus 4 times 0. 3 times 4 is 12, and 4 times 0 is 0. So 12 plus 0 equals 12. So the dot product is 12. Next, we can calculate the square of the magnitude of vector b. Since vector b is 4, 0, its magnitude is 4. Therefore, the magnitude squared is 16. Then substitute the values into the formula. 12 divided by 16 equals 3/4. Multiply the scalar 3/4 by vector b. The 3/4 times 4 equals 3. 3/4 times 0 equals 0. So the projection factor is 3, sorry. Oh yeah. So the projection factor is 3, 0. Okay, next slide. Okay, now I will explain about application of vector. Vectors have many applications in everyday life and sciences. In physics, vectors are used to represent force, velocity, and acceleration. In engineering, vectors are used in structural analysis and robotics. In computer graphics, vectors are important for animation, video games, and 3D modeling. In navigation, vectors help determine the direction of aircraft and ships. Okay, next slide.
Okay, thank you, Repa, for the explain. Thank you everyone for attention our presentation. So now it's time for two quiz time session. So next, so for who wants to like to answer the question first, please raise your hand first and answer the question. So question number one is if a matrix has 3 rows and 2 columns, then its order is Selva. What's your answer?
The answer is B. 3 multiplied by 2.
Okay. Next slide. Okay, the answer is right. Is 3 multiplied by 2. Thank you, Selva. Okay, second question. Next. What type of matrix is following matrix? 2, 0, 0, 2. What type this matrix? Bella.
The answer is C. Diagonal matrix.
Okay, the answer is diagonal matrix. So the answer is, next slide, please. Okay, it's right. The answer is diagonal matrix. The next question.
Okay. Question 3, matrix has dimensions of 2 by 3, while matrix B has dimensions of 3 by 2. The product of A by B result in a matrix of dimensions. Okay, boleh listen. The answer is Oke, boleh Nur Fitri.
My answer is A. 2 multiply 2. So in matrix of nature.
Oke, thank you. Boleh di next. Okay, that's right. The answer is A, 2 by 2. Next question. Find the dot product of A, 2, and 3, and B, 4, and 5. Okay, Nadia Ketrida.
The answer is C, 23, because we must multiply it. 2 multiplied by 4 is added to 3 multiplied by 5. So 8 is added to 15 is 23.
Okay, thank you Nadia. Boleh di next. The answer is okay, that's right. The answer is C, 23. Next question.
Okay, the last question is, what is the magnitude of the vector v equals 6,8? Okay, Mika.
Okay, my answer is B.
Okay, next slide. Okay, this answer is B, because the magnitude of P equals the square root of 6 squared plus x squared. 6 squared equals 36, and x squared equals 64. So the magnitude becomes the square root of 36 plus 64 is the square root of 100 is 10. So this answer is correct. Thank you, Mika. Okay, next slide.
Okay, thank you guys for answering the quiz, and thank you for presentation. And this conclusion is we describe of metric and vector. We hope this presentation has helped for you understanding the topic better. And thank you so much for your attention and participation during this presentation. We so before we begin, we ask we would like to ask who would like to ask question to raise hand please. So we will take two questions. Okay, Zalfa, what's your
Okay.
question?
My question is, what are the properties of matrix addition, like commutative, associative, and identity element? Are these properties the same as the properties of matrix multiplication or not? Can you guys, if not, can you guys explain the difference? That's my question.
Thank you, Zalfa, for the question. Next, Indesivana, what's your question?
Hey, thank you. And my question is, why must the determinant be calculated by multiplying by G, uh, uh, multiplying A, B, by D, and B by C? What is its function? And for A, 3 multiplied 3 matrix, and Y are there multiply y to find the determinant value instead.
Sorry, Indah, agak putus-putus boleh di.
Okay, my question is, why must the determinant be calculated by multiplying A by D and B by C? What is its function? And for A, 3 multiplied by 3 matrix, why are there uh, multi, multiply y to find the determinant? Y is that? Kedengeran nggak?
Okay, kedengaran. Thank you, Shiva, for the question. Okay. Thank you guys for the question. We ask to a moment for discussing.
Okay, finish? Or is there any other questions? Do you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, finish, yeah. Okay, is there any questions for the topic? Okay, maybe one another question from me about the topic for the presenting group. So the topic that you were presenting today is about matrix, yeah, is it?
Yes, ma'am. Matrix and vector.
Okay, matrix and vector. All right. Um, my question is, why we need to learn matrix for what? What's in your opinion?
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for the question.
Yeah, please answer it directly. Okay, please answer it.
Ma'am, tadi udah ada dua orang yang nanya.
Mhm.
Mau dijawab yang itu dulu baru pertanyaan Mem.
Oh, berarti tadi belum sempat terjawab ya. Oke.
Iya, belum.
Please continue. But we will end the meeting at 3, yeah, or before 3 because you will have another class at 3.
Yes, Mem.
Okay, maybe 9 minutes left, and then so that you have spare time for preparing the next class.
Okay, thank you, Mem.
Please answer it without googling, yeah. Just answer it as you know. Oke, silahkan dijawab. I have no more time.
Okay, I will answer Shiva's question. The question is, why is the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix calculated using AD difference BC? What it is function and why are the multiply methods for finding the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix? That's right, Shiva?
Yes, tapi orang determinan A, B, and I, I by D and C by D, not I, B, and C, D.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you for the question. For a 2 by 2 matrix, the determinant is calculated as AD minus B and C because this formula represents the scaling effect of the matrix. In geometry, the determinant tells us how much an area changes after a transformation. The value A times D represent one diagonal product, while B times C represent the other diagonal product. And the difference between them gives the determinant. The determinant has several important functions. It helps us determine whether a matrix has an inverse. If the determinant is zero, the matrix is singular and cannot be inverted. It is also used to solve systems of linear equation and to analyze geometric transformation. For a 3 by 3 matrix, there are multiple methods for finding the determinant because the matrix is more complex than a 2 by 2. A 2 by 2 matrix methods such as cofactor expansion, Sarus rule, and row reduction are all based of the same mathematical principle and will always produce the same determinant value. The reason there are different methods is simply to make the calculation easier in different situations. For example,
Okay, please
Sarus rule.
pause it first, Reva. And could you, okay, please stop it first. And could you please explain it in Bahasa, what you have explained? Please try to explain it in Bahasa, what you explained. Oke, silakan dijelaskan dalam bahasa.
Okay, ma'am.
Oke, silakan. Please explain it in bahasa.
Explain by English, ma'am.
Bahasa, menggunakan bahasa Indonesia, please.
Okay.
You can explain it directly, Reva. Okay, this is what I told you, that you should explain, not read. Okay, I know if you are reading or you are explaining. And Reva, please explain to me, did you read or explain? What you did, Reva? Did you read or explain when answering the question?
I explain, but I read sometimes, ma'am.
Okay, if you explain, okay, then please explain it in bahasa. Sekarang tolong dijelaskan dalam bahasa. Apa yang kamu jelaskan tadi dalam English. You explain it in English smoothly, and now please try to explain it in bahasa. What's the main message that you deliver? Gimana, Reva? Tadi lancar sekali menjawabnya pakai bahasa Inggris.
Untuk matriks 2x2 itu, determinan dihitung dengan rumus A kali D dikurang B kali C. Terus determinan menunjukkan pengaruh matriks terhadap luas dalam transformasi dan membantu menentukan apakah matriks ini memiliki inverse. Jika determinannya 0, maka matriks itu tidak memiliki inverse. Terus untuk determinan matriks 3x3, terdapat beberapa metode perhitungan seperti ekspansi kofaktor, aturan Salus, dan reduksi baris. Walaupun caranya berbeda, semua metode itu menghasilkan nilai determinan yang sama, sehingga dapat mempermudah perhitungan.
Itu satu-satunya seragam yang kita semua punya soalnya. Okay, thank you, Reva. Right, as we are closing to 10 minutes left before 3 p.m. Okay, so I appreciate the presenting group, and please give applause to the presenting group. But again, I should highlight that you should explain, okay? You should explain, not read. I know when you are reading or explaining, okay? Also, when you answer your friend's question, just try as much as you can, try your best to explain gitu. It's okay because in this class, it is an opportunity for you to try to speak, to practice speaking, okay? So no worries. If you are struggle with finding a special terms, for example, it happened also to me. Ya, gitu. Jadi it's okay. You can switch between bahasa in English gitu, because we are still learning. We know that we are not English speaking. We are not from English speaking country. So it's okay if we still, sometimes we forget about the English term. Okay, I don't want for the next meeting that you read again. Okay, please note it.
Ya, ini coba. Ini Bu, aku mau
Is it
laporan.
clear?
Nggak boleh, nggak boleh, nggak boleh, nggak boleh.
Is it clear?
Hati-hati Mbak Ani, makasih ya. Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. We can close the class today and see you on Wednesday or Thursday in this class, yeah? Okay, thank you
Thursday,
so
ma'am.
much. Okay, Thursday. Okay, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Terima kasih semuanya.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Sate. Sorry.
Tapi warnanya memang
Kenapa?